The lights are low, the cameras are rolling, and the unknown is closer than you think. Welcome to Shadowhunters Paranormal Investigation and Events, where we document real investigations, do podcasts, and we do real life experiences. This is Investigations, Podcast, and Life, and today you are listening to a Shadowhunters podcast. Today we're diving into one of the most chilling and unsolved mysteries in American history. It's a case that combines brutal murder, mystery, superstition, and strangely enough, jazz music. Tonight we're talking about the Axeman of New Orleans. Join us. The year was 1918. The city of New Orleans was alive with music, culture, and chaos. Jazz was booming, prohibition was brewing, and in the background, a shadowy figure was about to strike fear into the hearts of the city. He wasn't a typical killer. He didn't stalk alleys with a gun or poison his victims. He carried something far more personal, more brutal, an axe. And he didn't just leave behind bodies. He left behind terror. The first attacks connected to the Axeman date back to May 1918. Joseph and Catherine Maggio, a grocer, and his wife were found in their home brutally attacked with an axe while they slept. Their throats had been slit with a straight razor. What made this crime so disturbing wasn't just the violence, it was the randomness. The Maggios had no known enemies, and they were ordinary people, part of a tight-knit Italian immigrant community. And they wouldn't be the last. Over the next year, the Axeman targeted multiple households, mostly Italian grocers and their families. He never broke in quietly. Often he used chisels to remove panels from doors, slipping inside under the cover of the night. His weapon of choice? Usually the victim's own axe, taken from their home. New Orleans became a city gripped with paranoia. Families took turns staying awake through the night, keeping guard. Some slept with weapons besides their beds. Others nailed their doors shut or bought extra locks. Yet despite their best efforts, the Axemen always seemed one step ahead. Police struggled. The crimes had no clear motive. Sometimes nothing was stolen. Sometimes victims survived, left to describe a shadowy figure slipping away into the night. But no solid leads ever held. The fear of the city only grew. And then came the letter. March 1919, a chilling note arrived by the newspapers, supposedly written by the Axeman himself. In it, he claimed he was a spirit, a demon from the hottest hell, that he had craved blood. But here's where it gets strange. The Axeman declared that on the night of March 19th, 1919, he would spare anyone in New Orleans who had jazz music playing in their home. Imagine that, a city held hostage not just by fear of violence, but by a demand to play music. That night, New Orleans became the loudest city in America. Every club, every home, every street corner was alive with jazz. Bands played late into the night, homes blasted gramophones, and the musicians were hired on the spot to keep the music going. And just as promised, no one was killed that night. But the Axeman didn't stop. The Axeman struck again in August 1919, and once more in October. Each crime followed a similar pattern. Attacks at night, forced entry, families brutalized in their sleep. Some victims survived, but the killer always escaped into the shadows. Then, as suddenly as he appeared, the Axeman vanished. After October 1919, no more murders were linked to him. The city, though shaken, slowly moved on, but the legend of the Axeman never truly faded. So who was the Axeman of New Orleans? Theories range from the mundane to the supernatural. Some believe he was simply a serial killer targeting Italian grocers, maybe driven by racial prejudice or business. Others suggest he was a man with a deep love for jazz and a twisted sense of humor who used the music as part of his psychological terror. And then there are those who say the Axeman wasn't entirely human. His own letter described him as a demon, an otherworldly presence who could move through locked doors and vanish without a trace. Was he flesh and blood or something darker? Even today, over a century later, we still have no clue. Of course, no story this terrifying ends cleanly. New Orleans is a city of ghosts, and the Axeman spirit is said to linger. Some locals claim to hear phantom jazz music drifting through the night air on March 19th, the anniversary of the most famous threat. Others say shadowy figures with axes have been spotted in older neighborhoods. The case remains one of America's most infamous unsolved mysteries, blending true crime and folklore into one chilling legend. The Axeman of New Orleans, part killer, part ghost story, part jazz legend. His crimes terrified a city, his letters made the world stop and listen, and his mystery still echoes today. So what do you think? Was the Axeman a man, a monster, or something in between? You've been watching Shadowhunters Paranormal Investigation and Events. But the investigation never truly ends. What we experience doesn't stay on camera, and not everything we uncover wants to be found. If you felt something tonight, you're not alone. Until next time, keep your lights low, your mind open, and remember, the shadows are always watching.